This stock market. Just hearing that name probably brings up images of confusion, fear, and a bunch of complicated charts, right? But what if I told you it's not nearly as complicated as it seems? I promise, by the end of this short explainer, you're going to get the main idea easy. So let's go from zero to hero. All right, let's start with a really simple question. Think about this. The companies you interact with every single day, Zomato, where you order your food from, or Google, where you ask everything. Could you actually buy a small piece, a tiny slice of ownership in them? The answer is a huge yes, and how you can do it is way simpler than you probably think. So, what's the big idea behind all of this anyway? Well, it works on a very simple but incredibly powerful concept, buying one small piece to become part of a much, much bigger game. Basically, the stock market gives you a golden ticket to become a part owner or a shareholder in the biggest companies in the country. Just imagine, the company that made the phone you're using, or the bank where you have an account, you could actually be a part owner in that business. To make this whole concept crystal clear, let's just forget about those huge companies for a minute and listen to a really simple story. We'll call it the juice shop story. So this is Raju. Raju has a small juice shop, and it is so popular that people line up every single day for his fresh juice. His business is an absolute super hit. Now, Raju wants to grow his business. He's got this plan to open 10 more new juice shops around the city. It's a brilliant plan, but there's one problem. He doesn't have enough money. So what's he supposed to do? This is where Raju has a smart idea. He decides to take the total ownership of his juice shop and divide it into 100 small, equal parts. Then he decides to sell these parts to his friends and loyal customers to raise the funds he needs to grow the business. And that little piece of his shop that Raju sold, that is exactly what we call a stock, or a share. It's that simple. Whoever bought that piece is now a small owner, a part owner of that juice shop. So then what's the stock market? Well, think of it like a giant online marketplace, just like Amazon. The only difference is that instead of selling goods, it's a place where the parts or shares of thousands of companies like Raju's juice shop are bought and sold. Okay, so you've bought a piece, you've become a part owner. That's awesome. But now we get to the real question. How do you actually make money from this? This slide shows the connection perfectly. On one side, you have Raju's juice shop, and on the other, a huge company like Tata. Raju's small part is called a share or stock, and you, the owner of that part, are called a shareholder. The concept is exactly the same. It's just that the scale is much, much bigger. So here's the crucial point. There are two main ways you make money. The first is the share price going up. As Raju uses your money to grow his business, open new shops, and increase his profits, the value of his entire company goes up. That means the value of the little piece you own also goes up. The second way is called a dividend, and it's kind of like a bonus. When the company has a great year and makes a good profit, it might decide to share a small part of that profit with all its part owners. That little piece they share with you is called a dividend. But, and this is important, just like in any game, there are risks here too. And understanding these risks is actually more important than dreaming about the profits. So let's take a look at the other side of the coin. You have to always remember this. If for some reason Raju's juice shop doesn't do well or it starts losing money, then the value of his whole business will fall. And that directly means the value of the piece you bought can also go down. It's not a one-way street. Wherever there's potential for profit, there's also risk. So after understanding these basics, if you're finding this interesting and you want to learn more, the question becomes, what should your first, most important step be? Here are a few golden rules for you. The most important one, learn first, invest later. Knowledge is your greatest tool. Second, always start with small amounts with money you're comfortable risking. Think of it as your learning fee. Third, think long term. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. Fourth, don't blindly follow tips you find on social media. And last, understand the business of the company whose share you're buying. Like, how do they actually make money? So after this whole explainer, I have just one question for you. Now that you know the basics, what's your first learning step going to be? Just take a moment to really think about that. Remember, in any field, knowledge is your most powerful tool. The more you learn, the more confident you'll become. If this explainer added even a little bit of value to your learning journey, let us know by liking it, and stick around so we can keep simplifying complex things together. Thanks for joining us.